Hello Capsulia, my name is Gildy and welcome to EVE Online. Mining in Highsec, the most hazardous way of living in New Eden. I am joking, of course, or am I? Every type of space has its own hazards. Wormholes having no local chat and relying on descan and healthy dose of paranoia. Low-sec being usually the stomping grounds of this or that group that has set up shop nearby, and null-sec is where anything and everything goes, unless your standing fleet is bored enough that they will drop on literally anyone and everyone bothering you while you mine. Highsec then should be the safest, and it often is, of course, with Concord being there to deal with any gankers. However, very often Concord is not preventing a gank, but rather avenging the loss of your ship or ships, which is not an issue for gankers themselves, because they already have an old warping in to collect the loot that fell out of your wreck, but also their own, minimizing the cost of ganking. I want to share a few tips with you that will turn the avenging of your loss into increasing the chances of you not getting ganked in the first place. Later in the video, I will also have a little unrelated announcement for you, so make sure to keep watching. First, let's talk about placement. Some capsuleers decide it's not worth the hassle of transporting the ore over long distances to the trade hubs and try to clear belts in close proximity of Jita, Amar or other trade hubs. Problem is, not only they are not alone in that thought, so belts disappear quite fast around those areas, but also trade hub areas is where gankers look for their prey the most simply because it's abundant. The further you go from trade hubs, the less often you will get picked up by ganker scouts simply because it will be more and more branching out systems between you and them, which lowers the chances of them choosing this particular system to check exactly when you are there. Then, when you need to transport your ore for sale, make sure you use the micro warp drive cloak jump trick, which I got a video on already, or tank your barge or transport ship properly, which is a topic I talked about in the past as well. Another piece of advice that I can give you coming from my experience in Highsec that relates to positioning is that Veldspar tastes the same in all system security. If you are going for a session of belt mining, going to a 0.5 system is increasing the risk of getting ganked because of two reasons. First, and the obvious, is that Concord takes longer to respond to ganks the lower the system security is, and it varies a lot, from around 6 seconds in 0.9 and 1.0 systems to 19 seconds in 0.5 systems, which can feel like an eternity when your barge gets scrammed by catalysts or coercers landing on grid. Therefore, setting up shop in a higher security system inconveniences the gankers, forcing them to bring more characters to finish the job before their time runs out and Concord lands on grid. It might not discourage all of them, as some do have armies of ults, but a few might decide it's not worth the gamble and will look for someone running a no-tanked coveter with ore strip miners. The second reason to not get into 0.5 systems for a long time is because that's the only systems where corporations can drop moon mining athenors in Highsec. This makes them obvious mining hotspots, regardless of the state moon mining is in right now for Highsec. Unless you are going for the rare border asteroid belts that spawn in 0.5 systems bordering low-sec, I would advise you to get into a cozier 0.7 or 0.8 system with a decent amount of belts. Next tip I got for you is to pay attention to your local chat. This is a long-term project you should get, but it pays off very well. If you are out mining in the same area as most of you that make this their main content do, pay attention to local. Check who is on regularly in the systems. At first, take a peek at their activity on zkillboard.com to get an idea if they are someone that might be looking for trouble or if they are harmless. Over time, you can start setting up standings for people you know are fine and recognize someone new and local quite fast, as they will stand out like a sore thumb on the list. if you don't want to set standings for every random around you, another way to pay attention to who is passing through is to click anyone in local chat and simply click Ctrl A. That way you select everyone that is in system at the moment, and anyone coming in will not be selected, letting you know who to check or look out for. Of course, make sure to mark known gang groups with bad standings so they will show up for you right away and maybe give you those few seconds to start aligning for a warp. Another one I have is something I have made a video or two about already. Choose what barge will suit your playstyle. If you want to not be bothered by anyone and be semi-AFK, Procurer and Skiff might be the best for you because their high tank will deter gankers. If you want to get a little more risky but AFK for longer, Retriever and Mackinac will be the way to go. If you prefer to change your EVE gameplay into a cookie clicker clone, especially if you are multi-boxing and min-maxing profit per hour, Covetor and Hulk will be something for you. You can find the whole breakdown of the stats of each barge and exhumer as well as their pros and cons in my Is There One Barge Best at Everything video. Once you have chosen your barge, if you want to be mostly left alone, make sure to put a decent tank on the ship and then worry about the mining speeds. The fittings are in the video I mentioned before, but I also made another one quite some time ago that went over the concept of tank first in a video called Only You Can Prevent Barge Destruction. Start today. Lastly, a topic I touched on in one of the myth-busting videos in the past. If you want to mine in a barge actively and prevent gankers getting you, you should mostly just stay in place. I know, it's counterintuitive. I have done the tests and in vast majority of cases, orbiting the rocks you mine will end up having you not be aligned to the spot you hit as you warp out in a hurry, so it makes for a way longer align time simply because barges are big and unruly things. Sitting still gives you the exact time to align as your fitting window tells you, of course rounded to the next full second because of how the server ticks work. If you want an even more active way to do it, you can sacrifice a little bit of your tank in order to be always aligned. How does it work? You drop one of your rigs for a Higgs anchor. It has a magical property of increasing your ship's mass, lowering your max speed. How is it supposed to help you exactly? When you normally align to a spot while mining on the belt, you will end up getting out of your 15 unboosted or 30 km boosted laser range relatively fast. How Higgs anchor helps you is that if you warp in to a spot at the edge of your mining range away from the rock you are mining, then start aligning to go towards the rock but be aligned to a station or any other safe spot in the system, not only you will stay in range for a very long time, but you will also be able to hit warp and actually warp away the moment gankers show up on D-scan. It is a way some people take barges out in more dangerous spaces, which I had comments about several times in the past. You could have spots on two opposite sides of the mining belt, around 200 kilometers from the rock itself, so you can just go back and forth, but if gankers are prepared, they will combat scan you before you have the chance to get out to safety, so it's best to warp towards a station and dock right away when gankers show up. That is all I have for you today. Before we finish, I would like to make an announcement. I have been accepted into the EVE Partner Program, and that means that I got some goodies to give away to you guys. If you have an extra tip for safe mining or anything to say on the topic, leave a comment below and add your in-game name, or IGN for short, so I can easily contact you. Answers to other comments will not count. I will choose 3 comments on Wednesday at random and give out the skins to lucky winners, so make sure you get the in-game name right. Moreover, 2 more skins will be available on my Discord server, link in the description. I don't ping at everyone or at here on the server, it's a place for everyone to chill, get answers to your questions, and if you want to, get notifications when I publish new videos. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a corp mate that might need it, leave a like, subscribe to see my future uploads, or even hop on my Discord server, which I mentioned before. If you are interested in what I will talk about next, my videos go up every Sunday. And if we never see each other in space again, Capsulia, fly safe.